Hey, folks, this clip of the A to Z Sports Big Orange Game Day reaction show with me and former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com and type keyword Vols, VOLS, into the search bar and fill your freezer with enough gourmet food to keep your cookouts going strong into the fall. That is Omaha Steaks, keyword Vols. Grump, just your quick take on that second half. Nothing too out of what we thought was probably going to be, but just if you have anything for what we saw.
When is we kind of expected, you know. What I did like, honestly, and we've already seen comments about it, is the accuracy from Milton. The one incompletion he had, he's 4 or 5. The one incompletion. My only critique would be he tried to kind of squeeze a slant in there late. You could tell he knew it wasn't there. And that one, honestly, incompletion, I'm just afraid of the ball getting batted up higher than it did in a bigger game. Just throw it away. Do the varsity blues, hit the mascot, right? Because you could tell he was like, I know there's nobody open. Kind of throw the slant behind. If he catches it, great. If not, that would be my only critique. And if that's the worst critique I've got of him for the night, that's a pretty damn good night, right? His deep balls were just unfreaking real tonight. Holy crap. Far from what we saw last year, right? And I honestly, I've seen comments on here already that were saying, oh, he found accuracy. He throws a pretty steep ball I've ever seen, all this stuff. And he probably does. It's almost the prettiest deep ball I've ever seen in person was Michael Vick. I'm talking about just a flick and just unreal. Milton's is very similar to that because he's so strong. Last year, I truly think it was a lot of he came in late, a lot of nerves, a lot of high expectation. He won the job, and everybody's like, where did this guy come from? He wasn't even here until like the last 3 weeks, and he just wins the job, right? So at least I think now he's kind of settled into Knoxville, settled into the playbook. If he has to play in a big game, I think we all now have that confidence that we're still in the game. Right. I say all that to say that's what I took from the second half, in all honesty.
We kind of made the joke coming into the season that Tennessee had the best backup quarterback in America. I think you watch that tonight, and I think you got a really tough case if you want to say anything other than that. I mean,
he's got another year. He comes in next year he's the sure cut number one right now next year.
Yes, I think that's without a doubt.
That I understand it's great we played Akron, but we don't necessarily have to score 63.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
my critique of the coaches would be, certain point, let's just shorten the game, get out of there. You don't have to continue to throw it. It's great to get guys experience, but we all know what it's like to be on the other side. We'll just say that.
So here's my question as far as that whole thing goes. Summer ending doesn't need to be the end of your grill season. Visit omahasteaks.com and enter keyword Vols, that is VOLS, into the search bar on the website and order the All-American Assortment today. The All-American Assortment has mouthwatering items from the butcher cut filet mignons to caramel apple tartlets. And let me interject here. I've gotten this All-American Assortment myself. I made the burgers for my wife and I with the caramel apple tartlets. And honestly, I can't say enough about it. So easy, so convenient. Comes freezer packed in this great way, and it all tastes absolutely incredible. I'm getting completely off track just thinking about how good it is. Let's get back to it. For a limited time, and as a special gift to our listeners, when you type in Vols, VOLS, in the search bar at omahasteaks.com, you'll get 12 ultra juicy Omaha Steaks burgers for free with your order. But if the All-American Assortment doesn't have what you want, they also have an option called Build Your Own Perfect Menu. Simply pick your favorite items out of all the options provided and create your own grilling adventure. And the best part is that also comes with the 12 free Omaha Steak burgers. It's a crazy deal. Visit omahasteaks.com and type keyword Vols, VOLS, in the search bar and fill your freezer with enough gourmet food to keep your cookouts going strong into the fall. That is omahasteaks.com, keyword Vols. For being completely honest, Joe Milton had a little more touch than the guy that is your starter right now. How do you, as a former quarterback at the college level and specifically at the University of Tennessee, how do you view that? Like, do you, obviously we're talking for sure he's your starter next year. I think he pretty much has that.
Unless someone just comes in and just pure beats him out, he is the guy next year.
Yeah, but when you see that, when you see Hooker come in, overthrowing guys, he's just off. It just doesn't feel great. He settled in, and, you know, Tennessee never even punted the ball when he's in the game, if I'm thinking correctly. But, and then Milton comes in throwing some dimes. And Hooker has had trouble throwing dimes this season. What do you, like, what does that make you think at all?
But notice, this is what I was trying to say last year. Yes, he overthrows balls. You got to give a keyword kid. He is a young man. You got to give him, and football is such a different game, right? It is day to day. Florida is up by 3, and I've got it here just to watch. USF is driving. They should beat the dog piss out of them. If you look on paper, they got a 6'5", 415-pound D tackle, for God's sake. Football is, how do you play that day? Missouri State, Arkansas, right? On paper, you go, it ain't even close. And they're down by 10 in the 4th. So what I'm getting at is, these are young men playing a violent game, for layman's terms, right? What I'm trying to get at is, that's where Milton last year, if we said it, he's the most physically gifted quarterback in the country. I don't even think it's close. I truly don't. You put him up against any quarterback in the country and you say, you guys go throw the same routes, and we go, you're winning all day on the same routes, throwing every route in the playbook. When he comes in late, and this is where I've tried to say, I know what it's like to be that kid. I mean, that's called life. But he is a young man, and you could tell it kind of got to him last year. Now he's settled in. Hey, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, he's our pure number one. We get it. He gives us the best chance to win because guys believe in him. But if we need a spark, it ain't the worst thing in the world to put Milton in now and go, hey, by the way, now we know that you are comfortable and you kind of got a feel for guys. All right. The touch is starting to come. He flicks it 60 yards. Right. App State threw a Hail Mary today, and the ball landed at like 48. Right.
I mean,
like Aaron Murray said, and I love it. He goes, I got a triple crow hop to get that ball there.
That right? Like 57-yarder, that was effortless, man.
And it was literally, it's a flick of the wrist.
Oh.
And it just, he's starting to get it. And the beauty is, with the transfer portal now, we might start seeing not just him, but other kids getting different change of scenery, hence Hendon, Hooker as well, that get in a better opportunity. Once again, Milton's got another year of eligibility. Maybe that's just what he needed. You don't have to be a 4-year starter. You don't have to be a 4-year starter, right, to be a first-round draft pick or to be drafted or have a long career. Hence Mark Sanchez at Southern Cal, right? Maybe that is Milton's path. There's nothing wrong with that, because the dude is just – I don't think I've seen anybody as physically gifted at that position in a long, long time.
So you will not entertain?
No. No, I will not.
You knew what I was going to say. You knew.
No, I will not.
There's no
Once again, hey, like we said at halftime, it's a great thing that we actually can now have those conversations, though.
Yes. I mean, it makes you feel so good about next year. Yeah. It makes me like excited to go like, man, you're going to have another recruiting class under Heupel, and he's been recruiting nicely. You're going to have competition in that room with Nico Iamaleava, Taven Jackson, potentially. Jackson might transfer with the given situation. But, you have what you have, and you're seeing Milton just kind of come into his own this way. that's really exciting. And it warms my heart as a Tennessee fan, because good things like that don't happen to this football program too often, at least not in the last 15 years. So it's good to see.